Okay, we are complete. Let's start. Hello to the TOC meeting on 2nd of July. Today we will have our usual agenda, go over the action items from last week. We will get an update from the app runtime deployments working group and review our pull request issues, RFCs, and talk about any other business. Yeah, let's check on the action items from last week. So I had one to generate a number for the RFC, which we approved. I did this, so it's done. Yeah, there are no other action items, so we can proceed with the update. Jochen is here from the runtime deployments working group. So Jochen, you are.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I can't share my screen. Beyhan, can you unshare?
Yeah, of course.
So now. Okay, so small update. At the beginning of the year, we removed the Windows 2016 stack that was deprecated, and I asked if anyone still needed that stack, but there was absolutely no response. So we just removed it and created a major release. Then FIPS validation. We have integrated the FIPS validation scenario into our overall validation pipeline. So you see here is now a new group of jobs, FIPS Snape. This one is running on AWS with the FIPS stem cell, and yeah, tests as the other scenarios. It tests CF deployment and runs the smoke and the cats tests. And if it is successful, this is now a requirement, then we can proceed and cut a new release. Yeah, we have also integrated FIPS stem cell update. So this works a little bit different than the regular stem cell update. So basically, we've copied the update mechanism from Windows. So when the new Windows 2019 stem cell is triggered, the version is updated in an ops file, and that is pushed to the develop branch, and then the regular validation starts. And we've copied this over to the FIPS update. So whenever a new FIPS stem cell is released, we update the version in a special ops file and then proceed with the regular validation. So duplicating this regular stem cell update, that would have been way too complicated. So we chose the somewhat simpler approach. Yeah. Note that you need authentication to access this resource, which made things a bit tricky, but we found a way that was easy to integrate. Okay, then we have an automatic certificate generation for the load balancers, which are stored in the Concourse GitHub. So the idea was to add a Kubernetes cron job to the Concourse Kubernetes cluster, which runs once a month, and it uses the GitHub CLI Docker image. That's the same image you can use for the start GitHub CLI script if you need to work, if you need to add credentials or something. And you have a configured list of certificates which should be renewed. And then we simply loop over that list and call CredHub regenerate. And this regenerates a certificate with the given parameters, and then it's valid for another year, and we should not see any expiring load balancer certificates anymore. Note that this does not work for the root certificate. That would be too complicated, but it's valid for all certificates which are signed by our internal root certificate. And we also use the same approach for the app runtime interfaces concourse. Here we also have bosh-bootloader environments with signed certificates, and there's also a small list of certificates which are now automatically renewed.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Is there a particular reason why the CredHub CLI image is hosted in a personal account?
Well, we just needed an image with the CredHub CLI, and again, we copied this from this start CredHub script. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think
there's no particular reason. I just copied this from the other tool. Yeah. So,
do you all have access to the CloudFoundry Docker Hub organization?
We should we use another image, or?
I don't know if there is an image, but I think it's better to have an image in, I don't know. I don't like, especially like around generating certificates, having it in a personal account.
Yeah, that's true. So this is where I copied things from. So here somewhere is this here. Yeah. So it's from this start CredHub CLI. Yeah, you could also argue it's maybe not very safe to use an image of an unknown resource to work with our credentials. So, okay, I can check if there is
I mean, if we need a CredHub CLI image, then we might need to work on getting that in an official place.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about Docker Hub versus GitHub image registry? GHCR kind of like comes for free, like with each repository, and at CLI lately, like we're just thinking to migrate over GHCR.
Yeah, it's we are using the built-in image registry from GitHub as well on the bosh side for the stem cell image. So we started experimenting with that.
Huge advantage that seems like so far it's not throttled, so that just simplifies a huge time like infrastructure and some.
It also simplifies authentication and access management, right? So for images that are not public facing, so like some images we cannot easily change because people expect them to be there in a certain location. But if you're building a new image or something internal, GitHub is a great place to host them.
So can we get this kind of like as a standard, maybe like not right away, but generally as a direction, just like to use more GHCR for CloudFoundry kind of like official images and, you know, some utility auxiliary images there, and eventually deprecate GitHub, like Docker Hub, commercial Docker Hub, like in favor of this registry.
I think we had that discussion in an RFC, I believe, and the outcome was it's going to be painful and really like quite a big breaking change if we want to move away from Docker Hub, because people rely on certain images being there, like the CFCLI or other things. But yeah, for new usage, starting on Google or on GitHub makes sense.
I just pasted the PR where we discussed this if you're interested.
I'm very interested because internally in CLI team, like we have like quite a bit of discussions, and one sentiment is just like to start more, leveraging like this registry, and eventually maybe propose to deprecate like the GitHub, the Docker Hub, in favor of GitHub registry.
Then for the CredHub CLI image, would it be an option that we, let's say, open a ticket on the CredHub CLI project and ask for such an image so that we do not get another private unmaintained image, etc. I think that would be the best approach if the image comes from the CredHub team itself.
Could use the CF deployment Concourse tasks image. I guess it has all the tools you need. Could give it a try. It should also work. Yeah. So yeah, we should already have something. Yeah.
But if you need something from CredHub, if you need a CredHub CLI image, I think it should be the right way to open an issue so that CredHub.
Okay, maybe there is already something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else regarding the certificate rotation? If not, what else have we done? For bosh-bootloader, we have made a few minor contributions, mainly around the load balancer configurations. So for AWS, we've contributed Terraform files for creating an application load balancer instead of the older classic load balancer. And for GCP, we've contributed a few Terraform configurations for using NAT gateways, as we do on our other infrastructures. With the NAT gateways, we don't need to assign external IP addresses to the VMs, which looked a bit odd and is simply not necessary if you have a proper setup. Yeah, and then there's of course a lot of ongoing maintenance. We do dependabond updates in the CloudFoundry acceptance tests. Carson mainly does this, luckily. And we are constantly trying to enable TLS everywhere. So unfortunately, you always find some configurations where that says skip SSL validation or use HTTP instead of HTTPS. And whenever we find this, then we try to switch to TLS with validation to, target a more productive setup where possible. Yeah, so these were our main efforts. I should have maybe counted the releases. So release pipeline is in general, everything is working well. So we are trying to create about one release per week. Yeah. Okay, these were all major items we worked on. There are several minor ones, but this is everything worth mentioning. Any questions, suggestions? No. Maybe one thing worth mentioning, we have a new small team at SAP, which is also called CF Deployment, and they are trying to get more involved into our topics, and they plan to staff reviewers and later possibly also contributors, approvers. So with some luck, we get a few more people involved in the ARD topics. Yes, question?
Thank you. Yeah, I have like a tiny topic just to bring to your attention, like that. We noticed like that on many automations, we're using kind of old GitHub user accounts, and many of these credentials kind of already kind of lost. So it seems like newer approach from GitHub is just to use GitHub applications.
Thank you.
And yeah, would be great just to address eventually like that. And we saw that on multiple open source projects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when we moved away from the VMware infrastructure, we created new GitHub accounts for everything, for all automation bots. And so there should be nothing lost. So all credentials are stored in GitHub. So I think that should be fine.
Oh, we found a couple instances in area of application interfaces, where again just some bots pointed to the pivotal, and we don't really have access to them, or other than say
okay,
just their public
yeah, well,
private key.
In my working group, we shouldn't have that. Yeah, we cleaned up everything when we moved away from VMware, so all accounts are under community control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only thing, a few credentials are not stored, are only stored in SAP's vault, like for example the root, the Gmail accounts and the AWS root users. Idea is to migrate this to GCP Secret Manager. Then it would be again under community control. But there's nothing with lost credentials in ARD working group. So we've thoroughly checked everything, and all bots, we have the credentials for all the bots you see here.
You mentioned GitHub. Where can I just learn more about GitHub? Because we're just putting something in the vault. Seems like there are multiple approaches in this area.
GitHub, we're using GitHub for our Concourse instances, and this is explained. Where is this? Nice here. So here's the documentation for the Concourse setup. It's quite complex, but there's also instructions how you can access GitHub. And if I find a chat in Zoom, I can also paste this link. So chat, I think, yes. So here are all the instructions you need, and so you have to sign on to GCP and retrieve Kubernetes credentials, and then with the script, with the start GitHub CLI, then you can create a pod and access GitHub, and then you have full access to all credentials. The infrastructure credentials and also the certificates for the test environments. So be careful. And a few things are not stored in this GitHub, but instead, as I mentioned, in SAP's vault, and will be moved to the GCP Secret Manager. Yeah.
So GCP Secret Manager is a central place where everything should be stored, right? Not the kind of a GitHub or anything else.
So in Concourse GitHub, you store the credentials you need to run your pipelines.
I see.
And in the GCP Secret Manager, we could store the top-level root accounts for Gmail and AWS and so on. This is the access is then required is then managed fully in the GCP infrastructure. Huh?
This is very helpful. Point was probably more just to recommend on the organization level to use more of newer GitHub applications opposed to the GitHub kind of accounts for physical users. It looks like they just more optimized for different like bots. That's kind of.
If you have some experience or you see benefits using GitHub applications, we can discuss. Maybe we can open an RFC and like the one I pasted regarding using GitHub registry instead of Docker, which was rejected. But this should be the process. To standardize something. If you think there are benefits, we can discuss this.
Of course. Thank you so much. Super helpful.
I like, Jochen, that you are showing real stuff, not slides.
Yeah, well, okay, we did some real stuff. Okay, good. Yeah, so
is
yes.
there anything we can help you from the TUC side?
Well, as mentioned, this GCP secrets manager migration would be helpful. Apart from that, I think everything is fine. We got all the accounts we need. Thanks to the TOC, Chris and Ram for helping us here. So we also have for the ARI infrastructure, new AWS account, which we integrated. No, the next big thing waiting for us is the CF Linux FS5 integration. Haven't seen anything yet, but as soon as the stack is ready, we can start working on that. Yeah.
And from the GCP secret migration, is there anything blocking or what is there?
I think there's nothing that blocks us. We just need to agree. Well, first that we do it, and then we need to somehow make sure that authentication and authorization is correctly configured. Because I mean, you can easily add someone new to a GCP project, and then this person would also have full access.
I think, Ruben, you and Chris want to see how this could be automated, or we discussed it.
I think that had to do with the groups. That, like, we created mailing lists, right? And then we talked about how we could automate that. It was not access control in general. Although, I mean, you could maybe manage that through Google Groups, but I don't know if that's a feature that exists. Can you assign like a role within GCP to a Google Group? That I think is the big question. But yeah, if that's possible, that would be useful to explore further.
Yeah. Okay. I think if you have some findings with the groups and whether groups could be used here to manage the access, yeah, I think we can discuss in future meetings or in the future how this can be automated. Okay, then if there are no other questions, thank you, Jochen, for the update. And let's jump to the next point, reviewing PRs, RFCs. We have a new PR to remove inactive users.
Can you share your screen again, Beyhan?
Oh yeah, thank you. So here is the new PR. I don't know whether my scheduling worked. Monday was the first day. it was created yesterday. Yeah, Monday was the first day of the month, so we decided to execute it the first Monday. So it somehow happened to be also the first day of the month, yesterday, Monday. So I don't know. We'll see, but here is a new PR with users, inactive users. Yeah. We have to wait 2 weeks and then merge if there is nothing blocking that. The next one is by Chris regarding the TOC elections and the Paketu elections. Chris, do you want to say something? Yeah.
Thank you for catching my typo, Beyhan. And yeah, well, congratulations to Beyhan and Ruben for your triumphant re-election to the TOC. And also Jan, who was also re-elected to the Paketu steering committee.
Okay, do we need to approve here? What is the official process?
What does it mean if we don't approve?
Gridlock.
Just kidding. I want you here. I will approve readily.
Let's see who has more admin rights than. I don't know. I'm approving this.
You didn't fix the typo, did you?
I just fixed it.
Oh, you just fixed it? Nice, thank you.
Okay, and
All right. Thank you all.
all is official now. Okay, on the RFC side, we have the one RFC to make more explicit the steps we need for a poster ownership change or rename.
I think I made all the changes. Ruben, you had one call out about what does it mean for a working group to approve. And there is like a brief line that was earlier in the RFC that I didn't touch. And so if that's sufficient, then I think we're good. Or if you want more language, I can add it in.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think we're all resolved.
Yeah, all other comments are resolved. So check it.
Oh, but Chris isn't here and I can't approve.
Oh.
Maybe I de facto approve because I created it.
Action item for Chris, but we still have 3 approvals, so it's good to go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Should work. Let me find the approval button. Yes.
We have,
Okay, action item, add a number. Oh no, this one's old. Never mind. Don't add a number.
Yeah.
It has a number.
That's why I didn't mention, but we didn't start any final comment period or anything, so it's just an update to existing.
Clarification to an existing one.
Yeah. And regarding the status here of RFCs, yeah, this is the generic per route features is now active. I think we walked into this last week, but what I was discussing with Maximilian, so in I created the initial issue, but he wasn't able to edit the tasks, so that's why we created a new one. He created a new one, so he's able now to edit the description. So I think RFC owners should create those issues so that they are able to edit. Last week we accepted a new one, but I think there is not yet progress on it. I will ask Ian or whoever was the owner to create an issue here for the that RFC to add system build packs, system build pack support for cloud native build packs. But otherwise, yeah, it looks to work the new process here. Do you want to discuss anything particular here? No. Okay. I think we can close the nomination issues. I can do it later. Okay, then we can go to the next agenda point. Any other business? There is a topic. It was brought up in our working group meeting, foundational infrastructure working group meeting. So people asked why we do not create PRs for inactive users with roles. Because sometimes it's challenging for let's say execution lead to open a PR for someone else he knows or she knows. So it's a little bit could be a challenge to create PRs to remove people you know so well. I don't know. From that perspective was if an automation does this, then it's so easy and simple.
I think when we introduced it, it's a bit tricky to find the right working group charter and delete the right line in this YAML magic. So I guess this automation is only possible with AI.
Oh, yeah.
So and if you just remove the user from the contributors file, it has no effect on the org structure because you get the contributor rights implicitly.
But I mean, like, we could at least call out these people in the text message, not in the actual PR, right? Like, that would be enough already for us. Then we can do the AI bit ourselves.
Yeah, I think we lock them currently, if I remember correctly, because that's what we discussed,
Yes.
so that a workgroup lead could at least look into the action logs, and then yeah, we can also add that, I guess, easily to the PR.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, we have them locked in this delete inactive. So if you go into the...
Yeah, but looking there is harder, right? Like, or that's the
Mhm.
thing you need to do. And then also, like, if they are mentioned already by a bot in the message, I think that already is enough to trigger that discussion or the...
Yeah, I like this idea as well.
So how it should work actually? PR per working group or?
No, I think just the existing PR that gets created also has like a heading with people that with roles that get that have been inactive, right? And
There's like a warning that's like warning these people have also been inactive.
and they should
are
probably
not.
be removed, and then it's up to the working group, like the TOC will see that, and then we can prompt the working group leads to what they want to do with it, right?
Yeah, this will be not so much work to be implemented. If it's fine, yeah, I can look into this because I was looking also today into options and really creating useful PRs is a lot of work to parse those working group descriptions and manipulate the right place. And
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
I
need
think
that.
yeah, it'd be helpful to get a warning though, because some people have left the company and I'm like, should I prune them? But some people like Michael Oleski still active, right? And if he's active, like that's great. I'm no need to remove him. So it'd just be nice to have a warning.
Yeah, it's a nice, like you can send a message to that person directly and then referencing that thing, right? That said that they were inactive, right? Like there's a public record of them being inactive, and then you can ask them and follow up basically.
Well, someone could say like that this kind of PR like of inactivity, basically just to remove them, like that's kind of a warning too, right? And could be conversation inside this PR, like a person responds, and
Yeah, we
like
just talked about that. It's hard to generate that PR automatically because they need to be removed from different files. So the PR gets we generate the PR to remove them if they don't have a specific role. That's easy, but for these people, it's harder to generate that PR. But at least we put them in a separate heading, then we can discuss it, and then if we feel like they really need to be removed, we as TOC can update the PR to also remove them from the working groups.
Oh yeah, it would be 27 users actually in the current run. And
yeah,
it's not just users, it's also some bots where we talked earlier about, so it would be helpful to look at them, definitely.
Yeah.
There are special users, like the Linux Foundation, you don't want to,
yeah,
most probably, but yeah.
But yeah, then we can find a rule here and filter them out or whatever.
But if the bots have been inactive and not contributed,
Yeah, that seems like a good sign.
Because you usually use bots to make commits, right?
To do something.
Yeah.
Maybe they are striking bots.
The lazy bot.
Lazy bot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I already put an action item for me to look into this. I can generate a suggestion and then we can start from there.
Nice.
Is there anything else you want to discuss? Doesn't look like that. Then we are finished. Yeah. Have a nice day, evening, morning, and see you next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
See you. Bye bye.